Jyoti ma'am, are you able to hear us?
Yes, I am able to hear you. Am I
Yes,
audible?
madam. Yes, madam, you are fully audible.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So, okay, Baljot and Ayushi, our speaker has joined, so you can start. And before formally introducing Professor Jyoti Rana, let me just state here that Professor Jyoti, it's so nice to see you here after almost 15, 16 years. We have been batchmate at IIM Ahmedabad. So, thank you, Jyoti ma'am, for giving us time in spite of your such a busy schedule. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ranjit. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Yes. So Baljot, you can start.
Yes, sir.
मेरा में नहीं आया, आप ही का में आएगा.
Professor Jyoti Rana, Dean Academic Affairs, Dean Skill Faculty of Management Studies and Research at Sri Vishwakarma State University.
Just can you switch on your video? Switch on your video camera,
Yes, sir.
please. Please do it.
Okay. At Sri Vishwakarma University, Haryana is an alumna of IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Kozhikode, and Kellogg School of Management, USA. Beside her Masters in Commerce, Masters in Management with specialization in Marketing and Finance, and PhD, she did a short-term course in Consumer Behavior from University of California, Los Angeles, USA, and a Women Leadership Program from Cornell University, USA. Professor Rana has more than 23 years of experience in teaching, training, and research. She has an expertise in marketing, research, and leadership. More than 80 research papers are in her credit, which include publications in referred international A-grade journals and national reputed journals. She is a reviewer of many journals in the field of management and marketing. She has authored 11 books in the area of marketing and management.
Professor Rana has done research projects and with UGC and Central Government of India. She has chaired many technical sessions at national and international conferences in India and abroad and has delivered more than 300 talks in more than 60 universities, academic institutions, including central and state universities, business schools, and colleges. She has guided many PhD scholars in the field of marketing.
She is a consultant and a corporate trainer also. She trained more than 30,000 officers of organizations like DHEA, CWC, ICAI, and ICI. She is a content writer and has designed various courses in the area of leadership and management.
On the societal front also, she has organized and conducted many research and leadership workshops and conclaves for women and youngsters. She conducted expression workshops for more than 500 school children to enhance their expressions. Two TV documentaries, Yuva the Power and Zara Hatke, have been telecasted on her work.
Apart from all the above, she is a poet at heart. Four poetry books, जिंदगी फेसबुक की तरह, तुम तो हो, Realm of Memories, and एहसास बने अल्फाज have been written by her.
So, uh, For her contribution towards society, teaching and training, she is conferred with the Best Teacher Award, Excellence in Social Service Award, Academic Leadership Award, Shiksha Gaurav Puraskar, Excellence in Teaching Marketing Award, Excellence in Research in Marketing Award, and Most Inspiring Women Award. So with this, I would like to call ma'am on the stage. Ma'am, you may continue.
Thank you very much for this elaborative introduction. And first of all, I'm extremely thankful to my fellow colleague, Dr. Ranjit Singh, for inviting me for today's program. And it's my pleasure to be here on this platform. Just to check, am I clearly audible? Because I was not able to hear one of the speaker, few minutes before. So am I clearly audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Let me share, and let me allow to share my screen as well. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So, as I was discussing, that today's topic, which had been given to me, that is on leadership. That how leadership works and what is the basically role of leadership, in holistic development. So, I'll be interacting on this particular topic. Uh, very thankful to Dr. Ranjit, as I already told, and I'm really thankful to the management and the director of Triple IIT. So, for taking this initiative, and it's very important to, schedule orientation program of the students because all the students, they might be thinking that what they are really going to achieve, in the next couple of years, and how they are going to set the purpose of their life. I purposefully said the purpose of life because I believe when you have some purpose, your all goals, your all targets, your mission, that automatically is directed towards that purpose. So I'm very hopeful that this orientation program will help all the youngsters, all the young minds to think about the purpose of their life, what they are, which kind of life they really want to live, and what will be their priorities, and how they are going to take this life ahead. So that is the significance of these kinds of programs, in my opinion. So whatever I'm going to share, that is totally based on my experience, my interaction with different kinds of stakeholders, with students, with academia, with industry, with administration, and with policymakers. So that is totally my experience, and it is nothing to do with any other thoughts, and not any political and social issue. And whatever, I am sharing with all of you, that is in the well-being of the students. And I believe that I'll be able to make certain significant points here. So when we're talking about holistic development and leadership, so holistic development here, I mean, every aspect of a human being. Because I started with this term, that is the purpose of life. So when we are enrolled in any course or any program, so how we take that program, that totally depends, that how we are going to decide our purpose of life. And during that program, whatever we are being doing, or what are being assigned to us. So how we do that, how we accomplish that, how we fulfill that, that also depends on that which kind of opportunities had been given to us during the whole period of our program. And a lot of stakeholders are involved in this when we talk about leadership and the role of leadership in the holistic development of young minds. So there are a lot of stakeholders are involved, so we will interact on those points as well. The important thing which I would like to bring to this platform, that why we are suddenly, talking about the holistic development. Because, 2 years back, one very unusual phenomena all of us had experienced, that is pandemic. And due to that pandemic, a lot of things got changed. And we are talking about holistic development now. We are talking about, that what is the purpose of life. We are talking about, what is the actual steps we need to take in our life. We are thinking about these things, just because of certain incidences and certain things are being happening. So what I need to put forward, that there are certain things happened, and due to those changes, that we are going to to talk about the holistic developments. So what are these changes? The first important thing, I would like to bring certain phenomena, into your notice, that there were certain phenomena were Just a minute. Sorry for the disturbance. So I you know, you might have heard the news headlines, you might have heard, you know, certain things, you know, during this period, and very, very unpleasant things also. Right, a lot of stress, a lot of depressions, lot of other things had happened, and then everybody was talking about that that we should be more interacting with our family members. We should be more interacting with the people who are around. In organizations also, you know, this was the thought process that we should be talking about the employees' families, you know, because if they are happy, you know, then they can contribute in the organizations. So that was the, you know, line of thought in those days. And the businesses were also changing, and the world is also changing, you know. And why the world is changing? Because a lot of complexity, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of ambiguity, you know, we can see in the world. And when we say that this is the VUCA world, so why we say this is a VUCA world? Because we experience lot of changes, lot of transformation. You might have experienced, you know, a lot of business models got changed. You might have experienced, you know, a lot of things got changed during these 2 years. And when I say that a lot of things got changed, what were those lot of things, you know, got changed? People earlier, you know, they were asking for the things, you know, which were really important for them for making their lifestyles better. Luxury items. This was the one change we experienced. Now the people started thinking, you know, what things are important for their life to enjoy more, to live life fully. Second important thing, you know, that we experienced the change, you know, during this whole episode, that now the people, they really, whatever they want to buy, you know, they want to you know, compare. They want to compare from lot many websites, you know. Earlier the people were, you know, interested in going physically in the market, but nowadays, you know, the lot of models we experienced, you know, the youngsters has brought into that there was not any requirement to visit the marketplaces. And online shopping was the new model, and the people were delivering, you know, they were delivering at your home, and they were, you know, giving lot of facilities that how you can you know, exchange your products, and almost everything they were offering you. Similarly, you know, people were also changing their taste, their preferences, you know, that they started loving, you know, work from home, and they started, you know, experiencing the importance of you know, the family and friends and the society. Next important thing, you know, that we experienced, that when we are talking about the holistic development, so definitely these factors contributed, because the world experienced the changes, and similarly, you know, the business experienced the changes, people experienced the changes. So there was thought that there is a need of people, you know, who have the holistic development, and it becomes more crucial when we are talking to the young generation, because you have entered into the higher education institution now, and if as leaders we are not thinking of providing the holistic education or holistic development of the youngsters, so I think that we'll be failing in our duties. So in providing this holistic development, there are certain, you know, stakeholders who are involved in this holistic development. And why this, you know, holistic development is important, because, you know, the kind of courses they are offering, that will impact the quality of the courses, that will impact the quality of programs. You might have experienced, you know, new programs are coming, new courses are being launched. Like, a lot of importance is being given on values and ethics now. Maybe the UGC, maybe the AICT, you know, everybody is talking about human values and ethics. A lot of people are talking about, you know, entrepreneurship, you know, that how you have to start your own venture. So if you're not thinking about the holistic development, if the leaders are not thinking about the holistic development of organizations and the youngsters, so I think that is going to impact the quality of the program, the quality of the academic staff, the quality of the students, the quality of the graduates, right? And ultimately, it is going to impact the higher education institutions also. So from here, from this background, when I said this context, there are certain questions which come in my mind, and probably, the people who are listening to it, the questions might be coming in to their mind also. That who are the stakeholders, who are going to be responsible for providing this holistic development, right? So I think these are the stakeholders who are responsible for the holistic development of youngsters in one higher education institution, whether it is in university or it's in triple IT, or it is an NIT, or it's an IIT, whatever kind of organization it is. I think these are the stakeholders which really impact the holistic development. And if you will see, that these stakeholders, they all are in the leadership positions. So maybe if you're talking about the donors or the communities, they are also the leaders, that the leaders who are impacting the development of any organization or the higher education. Similarly, the administration management, where a lot of administrative decisions are being taken, they also impact the holistic development. Similarly, the government entities also. Similarly, the competitors and financial intermediaries, who are funding the higher education institutions, they also impact the growth and development of any organization. Why I'm sharing all these things? Because, that you need to understand that any organization, higher education organization, does not work in isolation. There are various stakeholders which really contribute in shaping up that higher education institution, and they really impact the impact the various stakeholders that really impact the youngsters who are taking education, from these higher education institutions. So we need to understand that where our role as a leaders, maybe the academicians' role lies into the shaping up of the career of the youngsters. So that is really important. So these are the stakeholders. Now I'm talking about a holistic development. Now, what is holistic development and where the role of leadership lies, holistic development when I'm talking about, so that means that is, I'm sorry, you want to say something? If any, is there any question from anybody's side? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. So holistic development here, I mean, that is the overall experience, and it is promoted through all activities and experiences that really help any youngster to develop in the societal front, and ethically and emotionally, physically, and it brings the cognitive competencies. And there the leadership role lies. So now when we are talking about that, how a leadership can contribute in providing the holistic goals. So we need to understand, we need to shift from immediate goals to holistic goals. As a teacher, as a leader, as an academician, as a director, as a head of the department, I need to focus on holistic goals of the youngsters. And how I can do that? I can do that when I'm going to develop some co-curricular transcript or portfolio for my students or for these young minds. Similarly, that if I, design certain activities which really inculcate the leadership skills among those students, and I can motivate the students so that they volunteer for, taking those activities. Similarly, can I design as a leader some activities, or can I design certain assignments which really makes my students more responsible? Can I facilitate that kind of environment in the classrooms where I can facilitate a lot of discussions, lot of, brainstorming sessions, lot of learnings, lot of discussions on the issues which are really important for their career, which are really, really important for society, which are really important for the institution, which are really important for the globe, for this, globe. So can I bring those issues into my classroom? That is also very important for, for a leader to understand. And moreover, when I'm talking about an holistic development, then I need to focus on the joyfulness and the happiness of my students and the youngsters, and how we need to develop those, happy quotients, or you can say happy moments in the classes that we need to understand. So this, I think, need to be the agenda of the holistic development. So if one leader, as in, or you can say one academician, when I'm talking about leadership, leadership here does not mean I'm talking about as in, the political leader or any other person who is, at the administrative position. No, I'm talking about, the academicians are also as in leaders, the teacher is also in the position of a leader. So everybody who is having certain role to play for, the youngsters, for the students, I think they are in the leadership position. So we need to think, that, this is the agenda we need to check, that at 9 a.m. or in the morning, are our students, they are joyful. At 12 noon, are they peaceful? Right? At 2, are they, working on maintaining the relationships? At 6 p.m., are they pleasant? And, then at last, we can always think of, whether they are having peace within or around. Now, there is a question which is to be asked here, that how I can ensure that my students are joyful at 9 a.m. or 12 p.m. or 2 p.m. or 6 p.m. or 10 p.m. I think when, as a teacher, when I'm taking the sessions, when I'm, interacting with my students, so my whole curriculum or the session designing plan should be like that, so that, my students should be more interested in involving themselves to, to work in more happy environment. They should work in, they should work happily. So that is the question, we need to understand as leaders, as in academicians. So when I'm planning my session, when I'm planning my interaction, so I need to put certain elements in my sessions, in my, in my session plans, or in my, plan for the day, that my students should feel so happy. And there is something for them to think upon, so that, that they should be working any assignment if I'm giving to them. So I need to be very thoughtful whether my students will be, they will feel happy in doing that or not, and how it can be done when we will interact with our students and we will know the interest of our students. That is really important. So I think this should be the agenda of an holistic development. And if that agenda is being accomplished, so I think we are on the right track. Next important thing, that what it contributes in the life of a youngster when we are talking about the holistic development. So definitely that there are 3 important factors, which contributes in the holistic development of the youngsters. One is family, second is community, and third is education institution. So you can see that educational institutions can really play a very, very significant role. That means they can build the confidence, they can motivate the students, and they can inculcate the ability to carry them out, lot many things for the society. So here comes our role, and that is really, really important to understand, that how we facilitate to our youngsters to analyze their strengths and weaknesses, and how, we motivate them so that they can build their self-esteem and they can build their confidence. That is the important thing we need to understand as a leaders. And those are the leaders, or those are the teachers will be on the right direction if they are thinking about it, how I can manage the stress level of my or students in my class and out of the class. That is also really a very, very important thing to understand. See, when I'm talking about that, how I can, remove the stress, or how I can, think, or I can discuss about the stress management. I think that is the most important thing which we need to understand. See, we as a teacher, we always feel that the focus should be the curriculum. The focus should be how the hands-on training should be given. That's right, that you cannot avoid those things from your session plans or from your academic routine. But I think that if we are talking about that how the students can learn those things happily, we should think about it, how the stress is to be managed, how we can teach them, how we can motivate them, that they should not have the this feeling that there is a lot of burden when they are in the class and out of the class of completing their assignments and sort of things. So how we can think, to give them a lot of insight so that they can shift from heavy to light. How we can give them a lot of insight so that how they can shift from unlearn to learn. So when I'm talking about heavy to light means, so if they are light, if they are light, if they are not full of stuff, in their mind, and if they feel that small things can be done by them, and those small things can be done with a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, I think those learnings will remain them forever. That is also an important thing to
मम्मी
understand.
पास जा रही
Similarly, that we need to tell them that how they need to be stable in their thoughts. How we can tell them that first, that they need to unlearn something and then to learn. Most of the time, it happens that we always feel that, okay, I know each and everything. When I say I know each and everything, so I'm really sorry to say that we really close all the doors of learning. We cannot learn anything. So this is very important. So can we teach them, how to do self-management rather than stress management? Because when we will be doing self-management, the stress will automatically will be managed. And rather, I would say, there will not be any stress to manage in their life. That is a role of leader, which I feel, which is very, very significant. Similarly, this is very, very important question. How you're going to do that? How a leader is going to do that? How a teacher is going to do that? So there are certain things, that how the leaders are going to do that, or how the youngsters are going to do that, or how the academicians are going to do that. See, we need to focus on, that what is their success narrative, or what is their failure narrative. Or the youngsters can also ask themselves, what is their success narrative, what is their failure narrative. So once we think on these two important things, we'll be able to understand what are our strengths and what are our weaknesses. And I would rather say, when we talk about failure narratives, so nothing is failure in this life, basically. Failure gives us an opportunity to learn, and most of the time, we learn from the failures. So failures should not be termed as failures, rather failures should be termed as an opportunities. And how we are going to handle those things, and how we are going to take those opportunities, and how we are going to, learn from those opportunities. If we have these 5 things you can see on the screen, one important thing is self-awareness, and it applies on everyone. Everyone can be the leader of his or her own life. Everybody can, lead in that area. So I'm not restricting myself, that I'm talking about the leaders as, leaders to administrative leaders, or the one person who is teaching you. Rather, youngsters who are at this platform, they can also think of, that how they can be the leaders. So first important thing is the self-awareness, that are you aware what you are going to do? Whatever you are doing, are you consciously aware that what kind of activities you are going to do, what kind of efforts you are going to do? Most of the time, that we just plan our days, but without consciously thinking, we perform those duties. For example, whatever you are doing, if you think for a while and you put 1% extra in that, you will become the master. You will become, you can bring some exceptional element in that. That is the important thing. The second important question you need to ask, that have you discovered your north? So what is that I'm talking about? That means, did you discover that what is your strongest point? What is your interest area? If you will be able to figure out that this is my interest area, definitely your interest areas, when you will bring those interest areas into your functions, into your activities, I think you will bring the mastery in your work. Similarly, you need to understand, whatever activities you are doing, those activities which you are performing, are they contributing somewhere in the benefit of the world? Now, the question can come, as an individual, how can I contribute to the world? Individuals make the society, society make the nation, nation makes the world. So as an individual, when I decide, okay, I'm performing this activity, and this activity can lead to some well-being of the society, and that well-being can lead to the well-being of the nation, and that well-being can lead to the well-being of the world, I think your activity becomes more significant, more fruitful, and you become an exceptional human being. Similarly, you need to understand, whenever you are performing any activity, that activity brings any empathy quotient? If you are empathizing with purpose, as I mentioned in the beginning of my session, that what is the purpose of your life? If that is clear, nobody can stop you to become a leader. So that is important thing, and I can endorse it by giving one example. For example, that the institutions, they can force teachers to take the classes, but they cannot force teachers to teach the classes. And which kind of teacher they want to become, they cannot force them, because that will come automatically from their own philosophy. Similarly, this is my suggestion to all the youngsters who are here. See, which kind of professional you want to become, that will come from your own philosophy. And if your own philosophy is matching with the empathy quotient of the society, definitely you will become the master and you will become the leader of your life. One more very important thing is, whatever activity you are doing, whatever efforts you are putting in, are those efforts empowering somebody? If they are empowering somebody, nobody can stop you to become the leader. So these are the 5 important things which really makes any individual a leader. There is self-awareness. Second, that individual has to find out the north. Third important, north, that means the strong points. Next important thing is, that is which kind of true value which you are giving to the world. Similarly, the empathy quotient, if you are able to bring out, and how you are empowering others, that's a very important thing. And that's how one academician makes these youngsters the young leaders. And what this youth leadership talks about, this is a transformational leadership, if I'm talking about this youth leadership. And how it makes a youngster a youth leader, you can talk about. So that is, if your leadership is for humanity, your activities are directing towards humanity, or they are providing opportunity for everyone, how close you are to be innovative, that will give you an idea that how close you are to be a leader. So how authentic you are, what ultimate purpose you have, how humble you are in difficult times, how thoughtful you are. These are the parameters which will help you to understand, are you going in the right direction or what? Similarly, that you can do some SWOT analysis also. You might have heard the name of Arjuna, right? There were 5 Pandavas, but why everybody is talking about Arjuna? Because it is so important. You might have heard the book Invincible Arjuna that has been written by Professor Devashish also. And it's a fantastic book, and I would suggest every student should read out this. It gives a lot of insights. So when you are talking about the leadership, you need to do this SWOT analysis, and how it is going to help you out. The first is that when you are saying, when you are analyzing strengths, that it helps you in shaping of your identity, right? And you focus on your attributes, you focus on your gunas, when we call it, from Indian culture, we name it gunas. And these gunas, that these gunas multiplies when you get an inspiration from, within. So that is the important thing. That is why I'm saying that you need to make your SWOT analysis. And when you are making the SWOT analysis and you are identifying, okay, these are my strengths, you will get a lot of motivation, a lot of inspiration, right? And that inspiration will come from within. And your qualities, your gunas will multiply. Second important thing is, that you need to see that whether, your talent meets with temperament. Sometimes, people are very talented, but they have weakness of temperament. So that is why you need to check whether you have temperament or not. Because if I talk about Arjuna, what makes him different from other Pandavas, because he was having talent also and he was having temperament also. See, there is a story about Arjuna, and there are a lot of things which has been written in in Mahabharata, that in all the Pandavas and Kauravas, that see, all of them were very talented, but he used to do his practice without fail, because he was having the temperament, that discipline. And the second important thing, he never lost his temper, which was the problem with the other people, other siblings. So it is important to have a talent, but if you don't have that temperament, that how you react to the situation, that is really important to become a leader. So you may be talented, but if you are not rightly or correctly, responding or reacting to any situation, so that is creating a problem for any individual to become a leader. So you must think of, talent should be there plus temperament. Everybody has some kind of talent that is there. Similarly, now you need to see the opportunities also. When you want to become a leader, or when you think, that you have some exceptional qualities, so now you need to see what are the opportunities and how you check those opportunities and how you avail those opportunities. Your talent should meet the opportunities or meet the needs of the world. That is why Arjuna is being called a warrior, because his talent met the needs of the world. And there was a war, and he could, fight for justice. So his talent met the need of the world. So that is why, we remember him more. So that is how you need to see that whether you have the talent, but whether that talent is meeting the need of the world, that is also a matter of question, and you need to see. And then, the threats, how you can face the threats, when there are a lot of people, when there are a lot of students, when there are a lot of higher education institutions, there are a lot of academicians, how you can be the different one, or how you can meet those threats when you will be practicing the mastery, when you will be having the light of clarity, when you will remove the pollutants from your mind. And what are those pollutants? The the pollutants, I always say that the greed, the anger, the jealousy, the ego. So in whatever position you are, maybe the students, maybe the academicians, maybe you are in the administrative role. So when you will not have these pollutants and your mind will be free from these pollutants, so I think you will have the light of clarity, and when you will have the light of clarity, you will be on the path of mastery, and that will lead to leadership. And the next very important thing is that you have to have the arrow of concentration. And when I talk about the arrow of concentration, again, I'm emphasizing on that what is the basic the purpose of your life. So if you have clarity on that, so the concentration, the discipline, everything will fall into place. And when less is more, less is more means that you have to see the small things, you have to work on small things, and you have to work on small things in a very exceptional way. So when that will be the agenda of your life, I think you will be the master, you will be the exceptional human being, and you will be able to become a leader. See, we need to focus on three things. One is form, second is focus, and third is flow. Form means that fixing the attention, whatever we are doing. So we have to fix our attention, and that should lead to your purpose. Then you need to focus. That means you need to work on sustaining your attention. One is that you have fixed the attention that, okay, I want to achieve this thing, but that should sustain. That should, lead to persistent efforts. That is also important. And third is that is flow. That means there should not be any boundaries, between mind and target. Those boundaries should be removed. Sometimes, we always have these kinds of doubts in our minds that I want to achieve this thing, whether I will be able to achieve or not. I think that should not be there in your mind, because your mind has immense capacity, and it has a lot of competences and lot of, a lot of capacity it has, and you can expand it. You should compare your mind with the sky. So it has unlimited capacity. You are the person who can explore it and who can use it. So these are the important things, which you need to understand. That is, you need to focus on form, you need to focus on focus, you need to focus on flow. So these are 3F, I always call, these 3Fs are really, really important to become a leader. Whether I'm a teacher, so in teaching also, or in my academic work also, I need to focus on that how I am fixing my attention, which kind of, academician I want to become, which kind of, transformational change I want to bring into my teaching so that it can benefit to my students. That is the important thing we need to understand. Next important thing, which is very important, that commitment. And that commitment makes any individual a leader, because commitment brings that energy, and that energy ignites the action. And really that action, this kind of energy should be inside, so that you have this commitment that I really want to achieve this, and I really want to have this particular, achievement. And that achievement can be anything. If you will have this kind of commitment, so definitely that commitment will make you exceptional. That is the important thing which I would like to bring here. Next important thing is, I would like to ask from you that we have discussed a lot of things. So there are 5 things on the screen. Can anybody tell me which is important, talent or temperament? What do you think? Talent is more important, or temperament is important, or more important? Can any one of you tell? Which is more important? Which is more important? Is talent more important, or temperament, or both? Okay, it's giving me a feeling that that all the all the people who are online, I hope they are there with me.
I think both things are equally important.
Thank you. And similarly, the second one, what I am and what I do, which is more important? Any one of you?
I'm
Both are important.
equally important, like what I'm presently is and what I want to be in future. Both things are equally important.
No, but that does not say that what I am in future. It says presently what are you doing? What I am, that what I likes, what I really like to do, right? And what I
Yes,
do, that what kind of inputs, I'm bringing in my activity or effort. So these are the two different things. So I think
like
what I do is more important.
ma'am, what I
Is
do
more important.
presently somewhere shapes my character and my personality also.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that means you are saying what I do is more important.
And I think both are equally important. They like what I am and what I do have like both things have their own importance.
Definitely, they are more important, but I think what I do will take you for the future. That will make you ready for the future. That will, as you rightly said, that that will become a part of your personality, or that will shape up your personality. So definitely what you do, that becomes more important, because again, in future, that will contribute to what you are. So you will become, what you do. So that is how, what I do becomes more important. And how I do becomes, one step ahead, that what I do and how I do, that is also become more important, because, the same task that is being, done by many people, that is being done by, many persons, and they do it differently, and that shapes their personality. So what I am, so at present what I am, right? But what I do and how I do, that becomes more important, because that is going to shape your personality for your future. The third important thing, that which you can see on the screen,
Ma'am, what I
which
do,
is more, yeah, yeah,
ma'am,
yeah,
what
please.
I do is equal to what karma I do. We have to focus
What?
on karma.
Yes, absolutely. That I agree. That what I do is, that is your karma, and that means what are you doing? Absolutely right. So thank you for answering, these two points. And when I see the third one, so small work, more love; more work, less love. Which is more important for you?
And more
Small
work,
work,
less love.
small
More
work, more
work,
love.
small work, more love; more work, less love. Okay. See, again, let me tell you, that is individual's philosophy. Because, when you are doing small work with more love, that brings mastery, right? Because, that you are concentrating on small things and you are making them exceptional. So you might have heard the name of the book also, Small is Beautiful. And I will suggest, that if you get a time, please go through that book. That is really an interesting book. And that will give you more insights, that when you are putting your lot of love, lot of affection in small things, that makes you exceptional, or that leads to you to the path of mastery. Next important thing is habit and practice. So which is more important for you, habit or practice?
By practicing, we can make a habit.
Absolutely. Thank you. Fighter or warrior?
Warrior.
Warrior, because fighter is a person who fights, but warrior is a person whose talent meets the needs of the world. So that is how, we remember, Arjuna. So thank you very much for, giving your inputs or for your thoughts, on all these 5 points. I think when talent meets the temperament, it brings the mastery. When we focus on what we do and how we do, then it brings the mastery and it leads to the leadership. When we do small work with more love, definitely that we do the activities in the well-being or for the well-being of the society. When we focus on more practice, so I think again it leads to the mastery. And when we focus on becoming warriors, so definitely our talent, our skills, they meet the needs of needs of the society, and that becomes more important for us, and we lead to the to leadership, and we lead to the mastery. That's important. So how you can like that, if you remember some life incidences and if you try to connect the dots from there and you learn a lot of things, so definitely you will be able to understand what things work for you and what things don't work for you. So that will help you to understand your strengths as well, and that will help you to understand that how you created opportunities for you and how you have taken those opportunities for you to become the leader. So that is also very important. So you need to see your past experiences as well. These are the ingredients to become a leader. So kindly refer your life stories and kindly connect the dots and take the insights from there. Right, you must have seen your grandparents, how they were working, what were their style. In some of the cases, they were illiterates. They did not go to the institutions, for their study, but even then they were having the wisdom. So you try to refer to your roots, you try to refer your life stories, and you can connect the dots and you can learn a lot of things to become a leader. There are a lot of insights from your life stories. Similarly, the journey of becoming the leader starts with your intent. If you are excited about your intent, definitely you can achieve that purpose of your life. And how intent can be achieved, when you are talking to people, when you are aligning people, and you are, communicating your intent with people, and you are taking those activities for you, or deciding those goals, those mission for you, which is in the benefit of people. Similarly, what is your inherent? You have decided the intent, but what is inherent? If you have the inherent to serve the people, that is really going to lead you on the path of leadership. Similarly, implementation, that you have to put others at the first place. That is really, really important for you to understand. And similarly, that it is about change. When we will think that how we have to become we from I think we'll be able to achieve the mastery and we'll be able to be the leaders in our life. There are these three important things, you need to understand, right versus wrong, old versus new, us versus them, me versus you. These are the changes we need to bring in our lifestyle, in our workings, in our activities. So I think when we are talking about the leadership in the higher education institutions, maybe one person is in the role of administrator. He should think about how his activities or efforts, they are going to transform other people's life, how they are going to impact other people's life, how they can align their goal with people who are around them. So then they can become leaders in true sense. if one person is in the role of a teacher, if that person is thinking, you know, how it is going to bring changes in the life of students, how it is going to bring changes in the life of other researchers, if he is doing some research, that will really make him a leader in that area. Similarly, the students who really feel, you know, they also be the leader, and if they are thinking whatever activities they are doing that is going to impact the life of other students, definitely, if that is bringing something new for them, something transformational for other people, if they're thinking, you know, other people first, so these all things will make them leaders, and they will become masters, and they will achieve whatever the purpose of life they have decided for them. So I'm just, you know, summarizing from my side that we talked about, you know, there are a lot of things we need to focus on. That we need to focus on flow, we need to focus on form, we need to focus on intent. What is the intent of doing certain activities? Maybe you are taking the course. What is the intent of, you know, taking that course? Whether you are focusing on learning or you are focusing on completing that program. So that will make a difference. If as a teacher, as an academician, that I'm going to take the sessions just for the purpose of taking the session, or am I going to take the sessions, you know, for you know, some bringing some you know, changes in the thought process of young minds, that will make a difference. Similarly, what is my inherent, you know, what is my purpose of doing that, that is also important, and how I implement those things, that is also really, really important. So all the stakeholders are the leaders, and how they can become the leaders in their areas if they will focus on SWOT. They will focus on their talent, and they will mix it with the temperament, and they would like to bring the light of clarity in your thoughts, and they will bring the mastery in your thoughts and actions. They will definitely will be the leaders in their area. That is all from my side. I enjoyed the session thoroughly, and I'm very hopeful that whatever I discussed here today on this platform will give you some thoughts to think on and to take ahead. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We really enjoyed the session. We'll be taking a lunch break here. Students are requested to stay connected.
In the meantime, just a minute. In the meantime, if anyone of you have any question, ma'am is here. We can have just 2-3 minutes to discuss their doubts and confusion. If you have any query, please feel free to ask.
Please
I
write
think
your
they do not
questions
have
in the chat box.
Hello,
Yes.
sir. I have a question. Sir, I have also not cleared about the real meaning of life. What is the purpose? I'm not able to understand that thing.
Okay. So, ma'am.
Yeah, you are saying what is the meaning of life? What is the purpose
Real,
of life?
real purpose.
See?
Yes, ma'am. Real purpose.
Real purpose of life. See, the real purpose of life, your life can be defined by you only. Nobody can define a real meaning, you know, meaning of purpose of your life. You know, only you can define the purpose of your life. And if you ask me what is the purpose of life, these are my thoughts that may not apply on your life, but my thought is that whatever I am doing here, if I am happily doing that, that is the purpose of my life. So I have to be an enjoyable human being. I have to be a joyful human being. I have to be a very happy human being. That is the purpose of my life. So your purpose of life, you need to define it, right? So because for me, that everything comes later, and see, let's say, if I am talking to you people, if I'm not happily doing it, so there is no point that whether I am Dean Academics, or I am in Vice Chancellor, or I am in, I am any minister or whatever. So there is no meaning of that. So for me, the purpose of life is that whatever you are doing, that is you should be doing joyfully, and that is the most difficult task of life the people feel. So for your life, you need to define it, because if somebody says that, okay, whatever you are achieving in this life, that you are achieving in this life for food, for luxury, for everything. If somebody is providing you all these things, so you need to ask a question: are you happy? Sometimes we have experienced, people achieve each and everything, but even then they are not happy. And sometimes we have experienced this thing also, that one person who does not have any luxury, who does not have anything, but that person is quite happy. So who is more successful? That is your parameter to define. So what is the purpose of your life? You need to define, That is how the people are, doing it. But if you'll ask me this question, so this is the answer from my side, that whatever I am doing, if I'm happy in every single moment, if I'm happy, that is the purpose of my life.
Thank you.
I hope I'm able to answer your question.
So thank you, Madam Jyoti. It was definitely a very rich discussion on the topic leadership, and definitely our students must have enjoyed and they have been benefited with your rich deliberations. So thank you, ma'am, from Triple ITA, and we wish that your support and cooperation will be able to get in future as well. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ranjit, for the invitation, and thank you for having me here. And thank you all the students who really attended this session. And I'm really hopeful that maybe one or two things, you will take from this session, and they will benefit you. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so friends, we shall be reassembling once again at 1:15 p.m. to listen to lecture by Mr. Krishna Chandra Badapanda ji. So till then, we can have just a lunch break for 1 hour, and we shall be reassembling at 1:15. Thank you.